Hello, this is a short description of my book, An Introduction to the Baha'i Faith. Published in 2008 by Cambridge University Press, this is a short academic introduction to the Baha'i Faith, aimed at students of comparative religion. I have divided the material into three sections. Part 1 provides a brief history of the Baha'i Faith, starting with the Bábí movement in mid-19th century Iran, and then continuing through the rise of the Baha'i Faith under its prophet-founder Baha'u'llah, and the periods of leadership of Baha'u'llah's eldest son, Abdul-Baha, from 1892 to 1921, and then Shoghi Effendi from 1922 until 1957, and finally the Universal House of Justice from 1963 onwards. In each of these chapters I summarize the main elements and events of their respective leaderships and examine the successive leaders' writings and ideas, together with questions of organization and authority. One developing theme which I return to in Chapter 6 is the gradual expansion of the Baha'i Faith. Starting as a religious movement almost exclusively amongst Persian Shiites, the faith has progressively expanded to other parts of the Middle East, and then to India, Russian Central Asia, America and Europe, and finally the whole world. Correspondingly, it has managed to attract Sunni Muslims, Jews, Zoroastrians and Levantine Christians in the Middle East, and later Christians, Jews and the non-religious in the West, and more recently Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, and the followers of local indigenous religions in various parts of the world. It now claims to be a small-scale world religion in its own right, with Baha'is established in every country in the world, and with a total global membership generally reckoned to be at least 5 million people. In the second part of the book, I turn to questions of Baha'i belief, looking first at the major Baha'i texts and their authority as sources for Baha'i belief and practice. I then examine 4 substantive areas of Baha'i belief. First, the idea of divine knowledge and guidance, including the Baha'i concept of God and the distinctively Baha'i doctrine of the manifestations of God, a series of divine messengers, including the founders of most of the major world religions. I also look at the Baha'i doctrines of progressive revelation and the covenant, as well as Baha'i understandings of good and evil and the use of reason and the intellect. Next, I examine the Baha'i teachings on being a human being. This includes summaries of the Baha'i notions of the soul and the importance of spiritual education, the nature of suffering, death, and the afterlife, and of the importance of rationalism. Then I turn to Baha'i attitudes to other religions, and the Baha'i concept of all the major religions being part of a single divine faith. Finally, I look at Baha'i social teachings and the Baha'i vision of a new world order, in particular the Baha'i views of the need for world peace, social order and justice, the advancement of women, education, and socio-economic development. The third part of the book examines aspects of Baha'i life. This comprises 5 chapters. First, the much-stressed spiritual path and its implications for personal morality and social relations. Then issues connected with membership of the Baha'i community and the application of Baha'i law in such areas as prayer, fasting, marriage, family life, burial, and involvement in public life. Next, the structure and functioning of the Baha'i administrative system, including the principle of consultation. Then aspects of Baha'i community life, including a description of the Baha'i calendar and holy days, pilgrimage, and houses of worship. And finally, a brief discussion of Baha'i activities and the wider world, including Baha'i teaching and pioneering, learning and scholarship, and social involvement, such as promoting the advancement of women and education. The book ends with some final comments about the place of the Baha'i Faith and the Baha'i global community in relationship to the modern world and the processes of globalization and secularization. The book also includes a select bibliography. It should perhaps be emphasized that this book is a contribution to the academic study of the Baha'i Faith and represents my own personal understanding of its development. I will include in the notes below the video some references to useful official Baha'i websites, together with details of the Cambridge website for this book and of the Facebook page for my videos, which you can click like on if you want to receive updates for further videos.